Alright, next thing we're going to do here is let's polish this thing up a little bit and turn it into a frog tadpole kind of thing. Give it a face and a tail or something. So first of all, let's make a new layer here. I'm going to lock this one and we'll call this body. And actually I'm going, for the ball layer, I'm going to turn on just the outline. Okay, so I'm gonna redraw everything on this body layer, but not like with the squiggly lines like that. You know, I'll just try to draw it once, kind of decently. First, I'm just going to select all of these and insert blank keyframe. Oh, convert to blank keyframes. Okay, now they're all blank. Okay, so let's maybe I'll do this one slightly bigger. I'm just going to try and do a good job for once. Okay, now I'm just going to hit the period, skip to the next frame. I'm just going to trace over these. And let's turn the looping off and turn the onion skinning back on. I just want to see one frame before and after. Okay. So I'm just going to go through here and draw the ball each time. Okay, I'll pause this, but you can do the same thing yourself. Alright, I've got the ball drawn in on all the keyframes now. So let's say I just turn off this ball layer, so I'm only seeing the body. And let's turn off the onion skinning. Okay, now I can turn looping back on and hit play. There we go. I kind of don't like what it's doing here in the middle. It's like it somehow slows down right when it gets in this area. Not sure why that is. I probably drew them a little bit off. But I'll just leave it for now. Alright, pause there. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is add a couple more layers here. So let's name one of these face and the other one tail. Okay, and let's select all of these again and convert to blank keyframes. And same for these. Convert to blank keyframes. Alright, now let's lock the body so I don't make any changes to that one. And let's just do the tail first. Okay, so I'll start at the first one. And, well, maybe let's start in the middle. Which one does it? The trick is with the tail is a secondary animation, meaning it's always going to be behind what the ball is doing, right? The tail is always following it. So if the ball is coming down like this, then the tail will be up here, kind of behind it, right? And then once it starts coming up, the tail is still behind it, but below. So, yeah, let's start at the top, but keep in mind that it's not just starting here, right? The top, will have bounced up. So this is coming up from the bottom, even though it's our first frame. So for the tail, it should be pointed down because of gravity. So let's just draw something like that. And let's turn our onion skins back on. Okay, so I can see where it was. Now at this point the ball's starting to come down, but the tail still needs to flatten out, I guess. Now the tail can start coming down with it. Something like that. And now by this point, inertia will have made the tail pretty much going straight up. Okay, so I'll fill those in later. You don't have to watch me do it, but let's skip to right here where it squashes. So here again, the tail will have still be behind it, and then right after that, that's when it will kind of smack down on the ground. And by this point, it's launching up pretty fast, so the tail will be directly below it, pointing down. It's a little too small compared to the others. Okay, so something like that, and then let's skip here to the end, where again it's still coming down. Okay, so if I go from the first one to the last, it looks like that should match up pretty well. Okay, so I'll pause this and then continue once I've... Alright, now I've got the tail all filled in, and if I turn looping on, we can hit play and see how that looks. Okay, pretty good. I would probably, at this point when it's coming up, give it a little more gradual motion. That's kind of abrupt how it points up all of a sudden, but it works for our purposes. Okay, so let's pause this and let's lock the tail, and now we'll add the face onto this. Okay, let's just give it a nose and some eyes. And let's turn the onion skinning back on. Okay, so I can... Alright. So we try and keep it in approximately the same part of the face as it's going down. Okay, something like that. And as it's coming down, maybe we'll have it, I don't know, squishing flat on his face. Should we add a little surprised look on his face? Oh no. Oh, I know. Maybe here. Let's go to our eraser. And then back to the brush, and here we can like make his eyes closed like he's slamming into the ground here. Should we do X's instead? No. Something like that. I can be back to being surprised. What? Okay, and then by the time he's up at the top, we want it fairly similar to that one again. That was close, pretty close. Okay, so I'll pause this and fill in the rest of them. Okay, got these filled in. Let's turn the looping on. And let's take a look at that. Alright, so we're going to want to fix, yeah, there's a few of them where it gets a little too different from the frames around it. I'm not sure this, oh, open mouth powder is working, but you get the idea. Alright, let's see if we can't color this thing. So let's lock the face, we're locking the tail, so let's unlock the body. And I am colorblind, so I don't know what any of these colors are. Where's green at? I don't know. I'm gonna guess this. And you're probably all laughing at me. Maybe it's brown. I don't know. Choose the paint bucket tool. Oh, we need to have the body layer selected. There. So we fill that in. I'm just going to go each frame and fill this in. Okay, see how this one won't do it? That is because if we just look at the body, see how they aren't totally closed. So I'm going to change this back to black. Let's just doink, close that off. Now I don't remember which one I had. Was the same? Yep. Okay. Alright, let's just go through and fill. Oh, there's another one that's not closed. Let's come back to that in a sec. Okay. So I'll go fill in those others. Actually, this time, instead of redrawing it with the brush, let's go in here, let's zoom in a little on this. And if we choose this arrow tool, we should be able to select just parts of this. So you can select specific points. I can drag that so they overlap a little. Let's find the other one that wasn't working. Zoom back out. That one. Zoom in here. Click on the edge of it, and oh, that's kind of dragging too much, huh? That's the best way to do that. How about like that? Let's drag both of these over. Okay, now they're touching. Now I should be able to fill that in. Let's find this other guy. It helps to learn the hotkeys of these tools. So like Z, the letter Z will put up the magnifying glass, or B for brush. You can find out what the hotkeys are if you just hover over it. See, it says paint bucket tool and then the letter K. So anytime you hit K, it goes to paint bucket. So Z is zoom, and then if I hit the Alt button, it'll switch to zoom out. So Alt, I can click it. There it is, K for paint bucket. There we go. Alright, now let's get the whole frame there. Now if I turn the face back on, hit play, sometimes the nose is, not totally in front of the face, so it gets white there. So for this, let's make one more layer just for the color. And let's fill that with blank keyframes. So in this situation, I will just, let's zoom in first. Take my brush, and anytime, say I want the color layer behind the face, but in front of the body. Okay, and let's make this a little bigger. So that way we won't get the line from the body. If I move the layer below it, Let's see what we got that line there. Okay, so I have that in front there. I'll just scroll through. If you hit the space bar, it goes to the grabby hand thing. Okay, that's good. Oh, there's one. Okay, so make sure and cover over that part. Yep, yep. Okay, so I'll finish up these. Alright, now if I hit play, it's a little better, at least there aren't any white spots. Now let's take a look at the tail. What's going on here? Okay, so we're going to need to do the same thing for the tail. I wonder if I need a new layer for this. Probably don't. The trick with this one is you want to keep it under the line. Oh, yeah, we want a new layer for that one. Okay, so this layer we want behind the body so that it's, you still get those curves there. So let's name this tail color. Actually, you know what we could do? Let's just drag that layer behind the body and then go to our black, make the paintbrush black again. And we need to unlock the tail. Let's lock everything else. And now let's make that back to the size it was. We can just draw that and connect them. Let's turn the body to outline. Okay, so we can make sure that those are all connected. I'll just go through all, and this is still on the same tail layer. I'll just connect all those. Okay, I'll go and do that and pause this till it's done. Okay, I've got those all connected now. It looks like there's a few of them where it's not going to fill in because you can see kind of a gap at the top. Let's pause that. Like right there. So let's. I could go in the this tool and stretch it out, but I'm just gonna do this real quick. It won't look quite as good. That looks probably connected. So if I were to spend more time on this, I could make it look better. But I'm not going to. Okay, so now that the tail's all enclosed, we can see, and I don't remember which exact color I chose. So let's go back to that so we can see and choose this. If you just hover over it with the, it turns into that pen drop or the eyedropper thing. Click on it and it'll choose that color for you. So now I can go to the paint bucket and just fill in all the tails. Like that. Okay, so I will finish that. Okay, I've got all those tails filled in, and let's turn the ground back on. See how this plays. Okay, there we go. Now notice down here how the frame rate is changing. So I don't know what causes it, but apparently we've got so many layers here that it has to keep track of that it's too much for the computer's memory or video card or something. So that's why it's making it slow down. So maybe once it's exported, it will play back smoother. Okay, but that's it for this part. We've got the details of our character filled in and the coloring's done. So in the next video, I'll show you how to add a moving background to this.